Let's go! Oh yeah, Mario time! Yeah! Yeah! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go. This way. Let's go. Woohoo! go. Let's go. Oh, yeah! Ha!
What? What?
Let's go. Mario number one. Woohoo! Yeah. Oh yeah.